Yeah. You're listening to Occupy the Media. I'm your host, Paco. I appreciate it if you're joining me, tuning in. I just want to let everybody know I am dead tired right now. I just got back from well, it feels like I just got back from the UCLA rally for Ron Paul. If you weren't there, you missed it. It was awesome. It was crazy. If you thought the revolution was dead, it is far from dead. I mean, it is growing massively. Uh, just to let people know how it went a little bit, we got there. It was a few of us carpooling, maybe about 4 or 5 of us. Drove up to UCLA. We were there maybe a couple hours early, and I'm telling you, we're a couple hours early. When we get there, the line is wrapped around like they had it going around like a track. It was long, and people just kept coming, kept coming. It was awesome too. We had volunteers out there getting signatures. LA Liberty headquarters was out there. People getting signatures. The Central Committee, people running for Central Committee, were out there getting their name out there. It was crazy, man. And so they opened the gates. We all go in. I mean, it's just getting packed. You can see how many people were coming. Everybody's like, man, it looks like we're going to break the record. And then next thing you know, Ron Paul comes out. And I'm telling you, I saw Ron Paul one time about 4 years ago in D.C. And so I never got to see him since, never really got to meet him. This time I got to see him again. And, man, when he came on the court or when he was walking up to the podium, it was like thunder hit. I mean, everybody just going crazy. You could feel the energy. I mean, it was awesome. And like I said, if you haven't been to a Ron Paul rally, if Ron Paul came in your town and you didn't see him, shame on you. You are missing out. So, yeah, gave a great speech. I know it's all over the internet. Looks like we broke a record. Ron Paul came out and said it. So I think we were around 7,000, I believe, if not more. And I mean, it was crazy. We had people outside. They were still bringing people in, like when his speech was almost over. I mean, people were still trying to get in. People were climbing trees, standing at the top. I mean, it was crazy, man. Ron Paul got a lot of love in California. I gotta let everybody know that, man. California is definitely for Ron Paul. We have a lot of support out there. Want to also let everybody know, coming up in the show, we're going to speak later on in the show to Rick Williams. He's running for Senate in California. And also, I'm bringing back Aaron on the line from yesterday. We're going to talk about what he did at the caucuses in, I believe it was Jackson County, Missouri, because we had problems yesterday. Let me see here. Aaron, you with me?
I'm here.
What's going on, man?
Not much. I'm glad you had fun last night.
Oh, man. Let me tell you something, Aaron. I'm telling you, dude. If I wish every Ron Paul supporter could have saw what we saw yesterday, man. I mean, it was like a sight I ain't never seen, man. So many people, so many different backgrounds, man. I mean, like, it wasn't just all white people, nothing like that. It was just mixed, and so many people. And dude, afterwards, man, we're outside for like an hour, man. People were still outside. It was like, I don't understand. It was like we're outside the club or something, man. People were still out there. It was just crowded, and yeah, it was great, man.
Yeah, I mean that's really important. We had something similar happen here. We had probably about 3,500 people come. We actually had 3 days of notice to prepare.
Wow.
So one of the women that was working real closely with our core group here, she got a call from the national campaign 3 days before, found a venue, booked it, and we got 3,500 people there. Got the word out in 3 days. And what that did for us, you mentioned there are people standing outside signing people up. That's huge.
Exactly.
And then we took that list and we contacted all those people, and that really helped us get people out to the caucus and make sure that we got enough delegates. So that's critical. Hopefully, guys are able to capitalize on that.
Yeah, what they did was they were out there, and I mean, dude, I'm telling you, they were on it. It was almost like these people were getting paid, and I know them personally, so I know they're not. They're volunteering, but I mean, there were so many Ron Paul supporters that were volunteering, and they were just going up and down the line so much, almost to the point where it was getting annoying, but it was good, though, because they were going up and down the line with the papers to sign people up as Republicans. And when we were all done later on after the rally, one of the guys that I rode with, he's one of the Central Committee, and they wanted to have a meeting afterwards. So it's already like almost 11:30 midnight now, and we're going to still go to the headquarters and meet up. So we go there for like another hour or two, and man, they had stacks and stacks of registration forms, people who had signed. So yeah, man, we just got a whole bunch of contacts yesterday, a whole much more Ron Paul supporters that we're going to be in contact with here in California. So I'm letting you know, man, we're getting it in California. We're doing everything we can. But yeah, if you missed it, it was great. Check it out on YouTube. But let's go ahead and jump into what we were trying to talk about yesterday. And again, Aaron, I apologize. We were having issues yesterday, but it looks like we're online today. We're all good. And we're going to go ahead and talk about what happened at Jackson County. Yeah, so let's let the people know about how that strategy worked and what we had to do.
Yeah, I think this is really important for everybody to be aware of prior to going into their caucus. Yesterday, Paul was talking about numbers and knowing what our numbers were exactly. And the reason that's important is because you need to know how close you are to having a majority. If you have a majority, then you'll know, okay, we don't need to make any deals. But if you don't have a majority, it's important that you don't just, stay with your pride and try to take 100% and then walk away with nothing. One of the counties right north of us, they did the same thing. They had more supporters there at the caucus than any of the other candidates. They walked away with 0 delegates because Romney and Santorum made a deal.
Hold on, where was this at? Where was that at?
This was Clay County, Missouri, which is right exactly north of Jackson County.
Oh, so basically they made an example of what not to do.
Made example what not to do, and ours was the following week, so we were able to learn from that.
Yeah, okay.
But basically, in every state, it's going to be different in terms of who it's most strategic to make a deal with. For us, it was Romney, and the reason is that Santorum is really close, or was really close to us in terms of winning Missouri, and Romney was already a ways behind. So it was to our advantage to block Santorum so that Ron Paul could win the state of Missouri. As a general practice, I would say that it's better to block Romney because our goal here is to force a brokered convention. And if we want to do that, we got to stop Romney from getting delegates. And Santorum's on the same page with that. So I think going forward, if it's possible to make a deal, well, hopefully if you have 50%, you don't have to make any deals. Yeah. But if you don't have 50%, you got to make a deal with somebody or you're going to get nothing. And I would think unless you have specific circumstances like we did where we were going for the win for the whole state, I would say to try to make a deal with Santorum, especially if it's a state where Romney's doing well.
Yeah, and oh man, I just went blank. I had something that came up. I was just about to ask you about what you had told me that happened there. One wasn't about people leaving. That is also to your benefit if the caucus goes longer than usual, and then some of the supporters of the other candidates, they're not diehard like we are, so they start leaving. And doesn't that work to our benefit as well? If we haven't come to.
Like I said, just knowing your numbers is important, and if people are leaving before the slates of delegates are elected, then the numbers are changing. So if you can watch the people that leave and count how many Ron Paul supporters leave, which is hopefully none, how many Romney supporters leave, and so on, then the numbers might change.
Well, what would you say is the reason that some of them were leaving? Is it because things were just taking so long, or there was just so much commotion, or?
Things were taking so long. I mean, it was a 6-hour-long caucus.
Wow.
And the Santorum people were really trying to drag it on because they knew they were about to get stuck. And so they were trying to, because you have to pass the rules, and the Robert's Rules of Order have to pass with a 2/3 majority. And so they were doing everything they could to block it, and they just made it take forever. But the reason it's important for everybody to be on the same page, we had a little bit of an issue that really could have hurt us, and I want to make sure this doesn't happen in any other county.
All right, hold on. Just hold that thought because, the break's about to come up. So, all right, you're listening to Occupy the Media. I'm your host, Paco. We'll be right back.